Welcome to the TALKESHI podcast episode. You know what episode it is. It's the episode that every podcast dreams about. It's episode 69. Happy New Year's, guys. Oh my God, we've made it this far. You know what? It's a great milestone because not only is it like a funny number, but, you know, it's kind of impressive that a podcast can make it that far, right? That far, comma, right? Not that far, right? Hi, guys. I hope you guys are doing great. I don't know if I already said this, but Happy New Year's. New year, new me. I don't know. I feel like this is going to be a great year. I don't know you. But I think it's going to be a pretty, at least successful year in terms of content creating, work, just in general. New me for sure because see, like as you can see, I got some new hair. I don't know about this podcast setup, especially with the echo. Sorry about that. I literally never know which one is better. Like if in my room it's better or here where like the echo is horrible and there's like sound and stuff. But let's see what we do with this setup. I don't know if it'll be here. Maybe the next episode will, but let's see how it goes. How are you guys doing? Hopefully y'all are doing great. First episode of the year. And I told myself that lo que iba a ser como que first of all, it's been 2 years since I made that episode that I was like, oh, where do I want to be in 5 years? And yeah, it's already been 2 years. So I wanted to see how far I've made it since then and how close I am to reaching that goal. Spoiler alert, don't think it's a lot. But yeah, and I also wanted to see, sometimes for the podcast Instagram, I do like really cute quotes and stuff. And like more often than not, what was that? Anyway, more often than not, it's usually me writing all that stuff. And sometimes it's like cheesy. Sometimes it's just like cute quotes and stuff like that, like motivational quotes that I just think about on the spot and I write them down in my notes app and I just make them. And I make them from scratch. I don't make them from like Canva. And no hate to Canva. I use it sometimes, but it is like cringy, motivational, self-help type beat stuff. So I kind of do want to see it and be like, you know what, like this could be helpful for real. However, I do want to make the disclaimer that like, listen, self-help is great, but a lot of the times, most of the times, 99% of the times, they don't take into account, like capitalism. First of all, like I can't just tell someone who's making like $4.25 an hour, oh, you can do it if you work harder. Like there are certain conditions that you live in. Capitalism, racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, all these things, all these obstacles that kind of stop us from getting to where we want to be. So like obviously me telling you to just like, you can do it is just like so, however, I do believe in hard truths. Like I do believe that sometimes there are moments, instances, circumstances, situations where I think you do sometimes have to, like these stupid people say like, oh, you have to pull up the bootstraps or whatever. Like there are moments where you just like, there's no other, they also don't take in mind, depression, mental health, all that stuff. But there are moments, and if you don't have any of these obstacles, plus, I don't know, I hope that like my message is getting across, right? But like if, there are moments, I'm just saying that there are moments where you kind of do need to put in the work, you kind of do need to be better. And I think that's a great mood for 2023, or at least to start 2023. So I was like, let's look through some of them that I haven't made yet and just kind of like discuss them a little bit. Here are some nice decorations that were gonna be used for Fuega, but it's gonna be pretty outdated by then. So also I got new glasses, so I'm really excited to use them, but they kind of don't go with the outfit right now, so I'm just not gonna use them. I can't see, I'm blind. Okay, so that episode was in 2021, right? What do I remember from then? I remember that I was starting to move, and I made it like this whole thing on this podcast where I was like, oh, I'm doing like this big move, and like you know, everything's gonna be better when I move. And like, honestly, sure, because I really wanted to have like an office like this one. And I mean, I really haven't dealt with this office a lot, but it has been better. Life has been better since I moved, for sure. I've been way more independent. Like, it's definitely done numbers for my mental health. So if you are able to and you want to, be patient with your moving process. Like, if you're a Latino, you know, Tira Boricua, and you're like living with your parents and you want to leave, be patient with your moving process. I promise it'll be worth it, especially if you like have not a lot of stuff, like emotionally and like literally you don't have a lot of stuff, then you have like a clean slate somewhere else. That's like the best thing that you can do. But anyway, yeah, 2 years ago I was starting to move. I had goals when I moved. I was like excited to do more content and stuff, but I hadn't even thought about the eshies. You know what's crazy? Like, when I'm making that video, that was like 5 or 6, almost 6 months before the first eshies, and I wasn't even thinking about doing that stuff. Like, I wasn't dreaming big. I just wanted to make content and that's it. But now, like, thanks to the eshies, I've been dreaming big, you know? So that just says a lot about where my mindset was back then. So that's where I was back then. I was blonde even in that video, which is crazy, in the episode. And now, like, I look so different. Life has been so different since I've moved, you know. And what has changed since then? I guess just that. I've just moved. Like, my friends are the same. My friends have also moved. I've had friends that have moved from where they live. But not much. Life itself hasn't changed. I have actually been thinking about that, how like life starts to kind of slow down. You know, it's different from person to person, but like since I've moved, there hasn't been any crazy changes. You know, maybe like people in my life have had changes. Like, my grandma had her stroke, and like, you know, Marilyn's grief has been something that has affected me a lot. But life itself, you know, I haven't moved anywhere else. My job hasn't changed. My ambitions haven't exactly changed. So yeah. So it's been 2 years since that. I've made a lot of progress, I would say. I definitely feel a lot better. Life is so much better. And it's because of choices that I've made, like actively made. I talk a lot about that because it's like, I used to be so, you know, go with the flow. It wasn't until I started making my own active decisions that like life really began to change for me. So that's why I talk about it a lot. But like, what are things that I want to achieve? You know, I'm about to be 27 in 2 months. That's crazy. I'm so near 30. Things that I wanted to achieve when I was like 29 or 30. I would like to live in San Juan, but I've been really settled here. I don't think that's a big goal for me anymore unless like I meet someone and that changes. Relationship wise, nothing has changed. Nothing, which is crazy, but I'm okay with that. And I've actually made my peace way more with it. I think you guys can notice it with my content. I'm like super like pro just being your own woman. And that sounds like pathetic. I feel like it's been ingrained in my mind that like being a single woman this old, which by the way, I feel like generally I'm too old for a lot of guys. A lot of guys my age are looking down now. They want younger, which is insane to even think about. So I have to aim higher. I have to aim for 30-year-old men, which are like so cringy. A lot of them are very cringy. I'm so sorry. Pero I did want a partner. I've been saying it for 2 years though, that like if I never get married or meet someone, I'll be okay. Like if I die without having another boyfriend, I'll be fine. honestly. Do I want it? Yeah. I mean, I honestly crave a boyfriend the same way I crave a pizza, if I'm being honest. Like, it looks fun. It can probably be bad for me. Probably can add, like, a lot of problems to my life. But I'll be fine if I don't have it. You know? Like, generally, I'm a very complete person, like I've said. Like, I've repeated in these last few episodes. Yeah, literally nothing has changed. My ambitions haven't changed. I think I'm pretty good. What do I envision after 30 though? Because like when I was making that episode, I was 24, about to be 25. So it was like 5 years until I was like 29, about to be 30, right? I don't know. If life keeps going like this, I'll be fine. But hopefully I've just achieved way more. That's really all I want. I want to achieve more. Do I want more money? Sure. That's never, like, in my tax bracket, that's never a bad thing. Let's see what I do to make that, though. And yeah, that's pretty much, like, that is an observation, it's a retrospection. I'm looking back and being like, that's like, look at how far we've come. And hopefully, I mean, those ambitions still stay there. I do want to just keep being better or even maintaining this. Like, I'm really glad at where I am in life. So I can't really ask for more. Now, let's look at some like probably cringy, motivational stuff. So in these last few years, for example, I've become a hedonist. Like, I've been very like pleasure over everything. So I want to discuss the first one. I don't know when I'll be posting it or making it, but like I thought about this the other day. That was like, I don't know. It can be sad, but it can also be very inspiring. People go, you are forever. Like, I can't wait to draw that and make it super pretty. But it's also true, like, people in your, this is like a positive take on like, you're alone in the world. But it's also like, you are forever, like that you're an everlasting idea that doesn't die. Like, I think that's kind of nice. Not me discussing my own. I feel like I'm at a book signing and I'm like explaining oh yes, what I meant with that is yada yada yada. I have another quote that's just like, we're all just humans doing the best we can. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. This one's kind of relevant to today. Sometimes you just have to be carried into a different life to be able to move on. To me, that's, I don't know. I think that can be accurate. Obviously, every grieving process is different. And I'm literally saying like grieving, people, but also grieving situations, grieving, like I grieved for years for a lot of stuff, for myself, for people, for relationships. But then like life literally changes and things either get better or at the very least they get different. And like you kind of, in a certain way, you're almost like pushed to move on from whatever situation was like abarcándote, Self-pity is not self-care. I think about this a lot because I feel like self-pity is something that I have dealt with a lot in the past. I used to be very like, oh, I'm a loser, I'm a sucker, I suck, I'm like the worst person. And I used to think that like by doing that, I was like protecting myself from others, or vice versa, protecting others from the horror that am I like as a person. But no, like you can't just like be aware that you suck and be aware that you're sad and fix yourself that way. That's kind of what I mean with this, self-pity is not self-care in that way. Like you got to put in the work to be better. Progress is a process. Honestly, that's just a play on words. I mean, it's true. Like progress is not just like one step to another. Progress is like a lot of steps, mashed potato style. But, it's more like it just looks nice. I really like that. Like, I really like words that kind of look like each other, like provoke and prevent, which are kind of related a little bit. Progress and process look really similar. Tampoco y también, kind of like, I really like doing that when I make my posts. I have one that just says sleep is everything and discipline is everything, but I don't know what I mean by that, bro. Like, I mean, yeah, it's true. Like, discipline is important. Discipline is just a word that's been tainted by like self-help and stuff, because discipline can really change your life. Like if you have discipline, if like, I'm not talking about like the job that you have that like you have just to like survive. I'm talking about like discipline and things that you love doing. Because I don't, like, if you're a barista at Starbucks and that's not your dream, you don't want to be a barista at Starbucks. I'm not going to be like, oh, you got to discipline yourself. No, go in, put in the work, pee on company time. I don't care. But like on something you love doing or like achieving the life that you want, you need discipline for sure. Because I feel like people always talk about discipline when it's like things that aren't really worth it, so these are like for Valentine's Day because they're all like love related. One that's just me regurgitating the last few episodes of like, there is really so much power in being happy alone. It's true. I'm just a goddess looking for a mere mortal to love. literally me, you know, because like I hold myself in such self-esteem that like whatever comes around is just gonna be a mere mortal, but that mortal has to really put in all the stuff at the altar for this goddess, you know what I mean? Love is a delusion. We all live in our own heads and love in our own heads. I mean, it's true. You literally, like, when two people love each other, birds and the bees, when two people love each other, like, they really don't know 100% what that other person is feeling. They don't know what color is that other person's romantic view of them. So that's just kind of crazy, right? I wrote this because, like, I don't know, I had a pretty good Christmas emotionally, up until, like, New Year's, honestly. But I had a pretty good Christmas. And I was thinking about how, like, I had been kind of feeling numb. Like, I saw all my friends go through personal situations that really affected them and stuff. And for me personally, I wasn't going through any of that. And then recently, I don't know, I just thought about my family a lot. And, like, I don't know, I just got happy. And I was like, I haven't felt in a long time. And when I do, it's beautiful and I feel alive. And I have an idea for that post that's going to be really pretty. So there's one that I've been thinking about a lot, though. There's always more until there's not. I think about that a lot. And I think it's like secretly kind of deep somehow. And finally, the benefit of being alive is that it's really the only thing we can do. And again, I think that relates to like, there's always more until there's not. Because it's like you're alive until you're not. Okay, we got a little deep here, so I'm literally going to close this PSD and just thank y'all for watching the first episode of the year, episode 69. I'm really happy. I'm excited for all the things I'm going to bring for TALKESHI, but I don't really want to talk about them a lot. Not because I'm like protecting it. I don't know if I believe in that anymore. I'm more so just like focused on doing it, but also resting a lot. I need to like, not to be like, see, I guess that's the last motivational thing I'll say, is that my work needs to be as hard as my play. But it's true, though. Like, I want to do a lot of stuff. Hopefully stuff that'll be worth the effort. And not just, like I said in the last episode, just put in my ass, just work my ass off for like 14 likes. Don't want to do that. But I also want to rest a lot so I can do that. You feel like I want to enjoy things this year a lot. That's definitely, I don't have resolutions for this year. They're just like floating around. Like I see one, you know, like a thought passes by. And I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. You know, be more active this year. Oh, cook more. Yeah, that's nice. I don't have them like on a strict list that then I feel bad about. I kind of just like let them pass by and I'm like, I'll do that. I'll remember to do that. And that's really my resolution. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Oh my God, next episode is episode 70. This podcast is, let's see. Oh my God, I'm so nervous as to what episode the Eshis will be, but I guess we'll just have to find out. So yeah, see you guys. See you in the next one, which will be really good next week.